Hello, everyone. This is our second episode of our podcast, which we are about to record. We haven't done it yet, so I cannot really give you any teaser, but it's going to be 10 talking points about the news, stories, whatever has happened in the last week in the figure skating world. And there's also going to be a commentary by me again. I commented another skate. Um, if you enjoy this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate it very much. Please like this video and also please support us on Patreon to get the full episode. Uh, we don't know how long it is. Last time it was an hour, so this might be happening again. We talk a lot. So,
Yeah.
yes, subscribe to the junior and the senior tier. I think that those are the two where you
Yep.
can get the podcast. Enjoy. I think we should maybe move on and
Yeah, into our final point, into a bit more of a cheerful note, hopefully. This is Ellie's GOEs.
oh, thank you so much for introducing this. First of all, I'm terrified because you gave me another Japanese skater, and I love their fans, but they also scare me. So please, everything I always say in this category is always my opinion, and this is vibes, mostly vibes only. I feel like I have to preface that.
You're fine. Go on.
Uh, and also I feel like I'm only watching these skates once, and it's usually like a very late competition in the season. And sometimes I feel like skates, they have to grow on me. So this is only like my impression after one or two times watching it. Um,
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
yeah, I feel like skates sometimes have to grow, right? Is it just me?
Yeah. But I think also I'm just showing you like the last version of them as well. So you're not like seeing the season development, you're just seeing the
Yeah,
final time it's been competed.
yeah, that makes sense. So tell me, why did you pick this skate for me?
I picked
And which
uh
one did you pick?
okay. I was like, are you gonna introduce that? Why? I chose recently crowned four continents champion and junior world champion Cal Miura. His free skate from this season, which is Beauty and the Beast. I chose this because I remember a couple of live streams ago, you mentioned that someone talked about it in chat and you mentioned that you'd like to see it. And I was like, I bet she
Oh.
hasn't actually watched it, so I'll send it to her. And
Call me out.
yeah, so I'll send it to her and get your reaction for it. So that's why I chose this one.
Well, now you get my reaction. My very first impression was interesting costume. Um, this had to be a themed skate, like a for this costume to be good, it had to be a thematic skate. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I was thinking, I was looking at it, was thinking, was this Phantom of the Opera? That was my vibe at first. Um, because it has to go with the music. This you don't just wear like a vest and like a little frilly scarf, whatever it's called, as a normal skating outfit, hopefully.
Yeah,
And then I was like, oh, it's Beauty and the Beast.
it all
That makes sense.
connected. The dots
Yeah.
connected.
By the way, this is the Colorado Springs skate. That was the first one I watched. So my
Hmm.
commentary is on that first, and then I watched another one because Sarah sent me two. Um, I just thought like his jumps are insane because they are so big. Like that first combo immediately, like he did a triple axel, an Euler, and a triple salto, and that was so good. And I was like, okay, I can get excited for the jumps.
Yeah. It was impressive. I do like the new sequence jumps. I think because this season the axel in sequence is like a bit more of a bigger thing. I
Hmm.
I personally like them because I think skaters that don't necessarily have like a quad jump or the bigger value jumps, they can do something with that, and I personally enjoy them. I know some people don't.
How do you feel about the Euler as a jump? Because sometimes when it's just like one Euler, it looks like they are. stepping out of the jump. You know what I
I,
mean? Of the landing.
yeah. I think it depends because
Yeah.
sometimes it is just like a, someone's just improvising on the spot and you can tell.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes an Euler looks all right. It's it exists. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really have strong opinions on
I
it.
feel Cow, that's how you pronounce it, right? Cow.
I believe so, yeah.
He does it very well. I think it's because he has so much speed. So it just looks
Yes.
like one combo, and it doesn't look like he is doing one jump, then another jump, then another jump. It looks like
It
it's all
flows really
connected.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works so well for him. Um, there was one moment which I thought was very beautiful, and the song said, "I close my eyes, but she's still there." And he does this little emotion with his hand where he's like, I will, if you watch the YouTube video, you can see it right now on the screen. And if you listen to the podcast, I will describe it to you and hopefully it's not weird. But he's putting his hands in front of his face and then I close my eyes. And then, but she's still there. And then he lifts his hand from his face. And that was a very beautiful choreographed moment, which I really enjoyed.
Very well described.
Thank you. It's almost like you're there, right?
Almost, yes.
And then, I have to cough. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Um, then I wrote down spreading it with the arm movement when the song was playing felt very fitting. Apparently, there's a spreading it moment where he's moving his arms in synchrony to the song.
Yes,
And that
I
was
do love that bit. I do love that bit.
okay, you know what I mean. That's
I
why
know what
it's
you mean.
yeah, I will put this on the screen as well because I thought it's just very beautiful. Again, like there are little choreographed movements which I very much enjoyed. Um, then his step sequence, I mean, that's always my favorite. Uh, and it has some beautiful spinning movements where he like uses his arms kind like as a again, the YouTube video, we'll see it, but there have some very beautiful spinning movements, which I very much enjoyed. And then at Colorado Springs, the last quad toe lope was huge. I
Yeah,
was like, how the hell does he do that?
I know.
I mean, quad jumps in general are like,
How are you
how
doing this?
how is this physically possible?
Yeah.
I could not even do one, and they are doing like four now.
Yep.
Um, I also wrote down that the spin, like every single spin of his, is so incredibly fast. I think he has to be careful not to go too fast because they might be traveling, and
Yeah, I
like
see that.
sometimes he cannot finish on time. Like with the ending pose, he has to be careful with that, I think. I
Yeah.
mean, also he's 17 and he's doing things I never in my life are able to do. So every criticism, I don't, it's not a criticism, but everything I say is just like,
Yeah.
I'm still in awe of everything he does. But yeah, I mean, the spins are very, very fast. And I think because of that, there might be some traveling when he goes very fast.
Yeah.
I also have no idea how it's physically possible for him to go this fast and then end in a position and not just like tumble over or something.
Yeah, I know. I think that
Especially,
applies to all skaters. I'm like, how are you doing
yeah,
this?
and especially he goes from like transition to the next spin, like from a sit spin to all of these different spins that they are doing
hmm
in these positions. He goes through them so fast, and some people take so long. Some people have very slow spins, and he's just
Yeah.
like bam, 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 ending.
Yeah.
Um, I thought there was um a lot more energy. I mean, that's how the song builds up. It's a very slow beginning, and then there's a lot more energy towards the end.
Yeah, I think I liked how the program built in general.
I liked it too, but I think what happened to me, first of all, I said that ending worked so well with the music. I think like you said, it built very well, but I think, and again, he's only 17. I think that's a very normal thing for very young skaters. I don't think he was able to express with his face as well during the beginning. Like you
Yeah,
can,
I think a lot of it came from the choreography.
yeah.
Like the small like moments in the choreography helped express in a way, but there is obviously like room to grow, as you say. He's still very young.
I think that's a very common thing for very young skaters, which is why I always embrace when skaters are in the game for a longer time. Because once you hit your early mid-20s, that's when you really start to express with your face. I feel like that's very often the case. I think especially in this skate in the beginning, he looked very concentrated, and I think that's just the thing of him thinking about the next step and preparing a jump.
Yeah,
And
yeah, for sure. That applies to a lot of
yeah,
skaters. Also, like being the free skate, being I guess so close to achieving that medal or whatever, you're gonna you're thinking about the performance or you're performing. It's yeah, it's either or, I guess.
I think again, I don't even know if figure skating puts that much of an emphasis on like face expressions as much as I do because I used to do ballet and so I'm like always more on the performance side of skating. And I'm interested in like how they uh show me the program and how they tell me a story. And that's why I'm very much concentrating on. And I feel like he was very concentrated in the beginning. So my former ballet teacher would be like, you need to work with your face, you need to show and express the emotions. Um,
Yeah.
and and I don't know if the pressure was off towards the end or if he was able to express those emotions easier. Maybe
Yeah.
both.
I I think because he got like he had some like wild technical content in both the skates, but of course
Hmm.
in the senior field, the quality he was going for was just wow. Um and I guess towards the end it's a step sequence. I don't really want to say calm down because
Yeah.
like anything can still happen, ice is still slippy, etc., etc. But you just feel like the jumping pressure off, which is the main um like bulk of a skate, I guess.
I think that makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and also both these competitions, which is maybe why he felt a bit more pressure, why he was like a bit more concentrated, was because Colorado, especially high elevation or altitude or whatever you prefer to
Oh,
call it.
right.
Calgary, Ted Barton mentioned was also at like higher elevation, but not as high as Colorado Springs.
Oh,
Um,
then it's even more impressive how fast he's going for 4 minutes
yeah, exactly.
in
Yeah.
that altitude, like that elevation. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess sometimes it pays off to be 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like that's insane because I keep writing down like speed, speed, speed. He's going so fast. He's going so big. So yeah, that's impressive. I also wrote down that especially for me with classical music, you have to tell the story like explain it to a 5-year-old.
Yes. Oh
That's how
my
I wrote
God,
it down.
yes.
Because with classical music, I'm always like, what are they trying to tell me?
Yeah.
And I don't even think every skater necessarily has a story connected to their skate. Sometimes it's just about the beauty and looking pretty and doing all of the elements correctly.
Yeah.
But I'm always trying to find a story in every skate. So that could also be one of the reasons because it started out with a classical track and
Yeah.
then turned into uh, lyrical music. And I was like, oh, now I understand what he's skating to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
I
I'm
get
just
that.
being dumb.
No, I get that. Like, especially when you don't know the music, like
Yeah.
straight away. Like, I've never watched the movie. Have you?
No.
So like we're trying to connect the dots as quickly as we can. And then you hear the music and then you see like the choreographical expressions
Yeah.
fitting the music a bit more, I guess.
It just once somebody starts singing, it gives me a story, and I'm like, oh, now I'm getting the story finally. Um, I also think, I mean, he was supposed to be the beast, right?
Um,
Or was he supposed to be
I
the teacup? No.
I have
So I was like,
no idea.
what's the teacup? I don't know. I have not watched this movie.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I think that's a character in the movie. I Yeah, I have no idea. I tried looking because I knew you'd ask this. I tried looking to see if I could find any um quotes that he'd given about why he chose the music, who he's trying to be. I couldn't find anything. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough, which is probably what happened. Um, but I couldn't find like who he was trying to be.
See, this is why everybody needs to be interviewed by us because we would have asked.
Yeah, that's like my go-to question for someone. Why did you pick the music?
What are you trying to tell us here?
Yeah.
And then I also wrote down that his arms are also incredible and very expressive. We all know I always look at arms and hands. He did that very well. And his technical skills are undeniably amazing. That was my last thought for the Colorado one.
Yeah, I agree. It was just, yeah. I mean, and then to have to like do another big competition 2 weeks later, essentially, which was Junior Worlds.
Oh, he did that 2 weeks later.
I
Oh,
believe it was 2 weeks in between. I'm not sure if he went back to Japan and then flew back to North America. Um, I think that's normally what people do, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm always impressed with how they're dealing with the time zones
I know.
because
Like that's a big difference.
sometimes I feel like they're even like it's just 1 week or something or 10 days and they have to readjust right away. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. And then obviously the skate in Calgary was for the junior title,
Mm-hmm.
which he I think going into Junior Worlds maybe felt a bit of the pressure because he just won 4 continents. Um, and I think the majority of people saw him winning.
I mean, it's fair. I can see why everybody thought expected him to win, which he did, right? He did.
Yes, he did.
Just wanted to confirm that
Yeah,
before I
yeah, yeah.
continue
That'd have
talking.
been awkward.
I have the question, but you already answered this because I said, do we know the story behind the choreo? But you already said, no, we don't.
Well, no,
It,
I don't. People probably do. I just like didn't look enough.
it felt like his jumps were a little less clean here, but maybe I was just like making up things. I don't know what the
No,
score was like.
I think there was a couple that were not as clean as they could be.
Mm-hmm.
I just off like assumptions, putting that down to jet lag
Oh, yeah.
or like just
No.
pure exhaustion of having to compete.
And also nerves because it's like junior worlds.
Yeah, yeah, that too.
Um, then there was this moment again. I closed my eyes, but she's still there, the one that I mentioned before. And I was really excited to get it from a different perspective. And they showed it to me from the same perspective again. I was like, why? Please, cameraman, work with me here.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I definitely noticed more vulnerability in the skate this time. So I felt like maybe he wanted because is it his final skate or is he skating again this season?
I believe this was his last competition.
So I feel like it might have been like he wanted to really do it all and like do a 100% 360 performance with everything perfect. But also, this could just be me watching it for the second time, and I watched it another time afterwards, a third time, where I'm starting to just feel the skate more than I did before. I think that happens sometimes. And then I was wondering if there's a difference between the skates, between the first one you showed me from Colorado Springs and the second one from Junior Worlds.
Yeah, so the junior requirement for the free skate is a shorter amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I think it's the last step sequence, which for me was my favorite one because it
I
was
was
to
just
the
about to say, yeah, that's a shame.
yeah, but it had to be cut unfortunately because the junior
Oh,
requirement got rid of the step sequence and kept the choreo step, which I think is why the choreo step was earlier in the program. Um, but yeah, that was the one they got rid of, unfortunately.
I'm sad they cut that because I feel like the end of the program was stronger than the first part.
Yeah,
But also, I feel like that happens a lot because a lot of skaters do like big jumps in the beginning,
yeah, yeah,
and then also it's usually slower music in the beginning, and then it picks up towards the end because that's just how you build a program when
yeah,
the music builds up. So yeah, I thought the second half of the program was I enjoyed that a lot more than the first half. So it's sad that that he cut that. Had
yeah.
to cut that. There was again I keep saying like he's skating with his arms, and there was a moment at 2:30. We're gonna link the videos in the caption, hopefully. Um, and I'm not going to sing, but now I know she'll never leave me, even as she runs away, and the away was like dragged out, and he was moving his arms with the word away, and it's just little moments like this that I enjoy very much. Um, and I also just enjoy the choreography. Do we know who did the choreography?
I can have a quick Google. Um,
No, I mean, we can give him a shout out. It was a very good choreography. I enjoyed it very much.
oh,
And
I could say the name, but I'm so scared I'm gonna mispronounce it.
oh no, Ichi Iwamoto.
Maybe.
The Japanese fans are dying right now. Everybody who
Um,
understands Japanese is like, what did she just say? But thank you so much for this beautiful choreography, Iwamoto. Are there more coming, or is it a
that was I think that's
okay?
all that's credited.
Okay. No, I thought it was. How did you feel about the skate?
I enjoyed the free skate. It
Mhm.
for someone obviously that's never seen the movie, it's like it's a great build of the music from it. I guess
Mhm.
it's a known piece. The one that was unfortunately cut in the Junior Worlds one anyway. The Taylor's Oldest Time.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I enjoyed the program.
So I think we can move on to the rating now.
Okay, so
Again,
uh
this rating is on a scale of -5 to 5.
yep,
Not 0 to 5, it's -5 to 5.
-5 to +5.
I also have to remind myself all the time.
We'll start with the music then. On a scale of -5 to +5, what do you rate it?
Okay, I have to be honest, I gave it a 3 out of 5.
That's still very good.
It's still very good, but and also this is just my personal opinion, which means nothing. Um, I didn't like love the music cut. I'm also not like a big musical fan, so it was already not off to the best start. And I also don't think the music cut necessarily emphasized his strength, which is more in the happy happy expression, I think. I think it came down to like the first part of the music, just the classical part being I had no idea what was going on. And
It was too
there were
long, maybe.
yeah, there were like soft moments, and then there were like angrier moments. Again, I cannot interpret classical music. Didn't go to music class in high school, so I have no idea. But it felt like there were soft moments and angry moments, and I didn't feel like that worked to his advantage because it didn't seem like he could change those emotions that quickly or even emphasize them. And then towards the end, it was just like happy and joyful and in love, in my opinion. That's how I interpreted it. And he did so well with that. So I'm sad they cut it out from the end part of the program and not from the beginning. But also that would have been impossible because that's where all his jumps are. I like
Yeah.
the big ones. Um,
So
so
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. It's still very good because I very much enjoyed the last half of the program. Just the beginning left me a bit confused every time. Yeah, a three
Um,
out of five.
what about the costume?
Again, this costume was a bit hit or miss for me. Before I heard the music, I was like, what is this? I don't understand why he would wear that. And then of course it like worked very well with the performance and with the vibe of the program. I tried to zoom in on the vest, and I guess it was had like a brocade fabric, which I didn't mind. I thought that was very worked very well with the program. I didn't love the diamond at the top or the frilly part. But overall, I would give it a 3 out of 5 because it worked extremely well with the music. And I also think sometimes it's very difficult for May costumes to be convincing or like to impress me. Um, and I'm very glad they didn't go down the Disney route with like the blue overcoat because I thought that would have been way too gimmicky.
Oh yeah, that
So
would have been way too extra.
yeah. Did you like the costume?
Yes. I guess I feel indifferent about it because I have no connection to the music or anything. It was nice. I think
Yeah,
it fit the classical part of the program.
for sure. And again, I think it's very difficult for male skaters to really impress me and go all out with a big costume. Like not everybody can be Yuzo Hanyu, whose costumes are so intricate and almost art. So
Yeah. And I guess I don't really know what else would work for Beauty and the
yeah,
Beast.
for
So I
sure.
think I think it worked well.
I think so too, yeah. So yeah, 3 out of 5. And then we go to the overall score, which I rated a 4 out of 5. People are like, how can she give them a 3 out of 5 and 3 out of 5? But it's like now you
The
add the
math the
skating to
math
it.
isn't mathing.
But now you're adding skating to it, and it's like, oh yeah. Like you cannot deny his technical skills, which are so impressive. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. Personal taste would have been 3 out of 5, to be honest. It wasn't my favorite music, and I think that's always a big part of every skate for me, especially if I want to continue to listen to it, like throughout the seasons. Then if it's music I enjoy, it always makes it easier. But professional Ellie, who can see that this is an amazing, talented kid who has like crazy technical skills, can give it a 4 out of 5. And also, again, like programs usually grow for me over the seasons. And which is of course not happening for me because I watch it like once or twice right before recording. And maybe in like half a year, I will look back at this skate and be like, no, this was a 4.5 out of 5. But I give it a 4 out of 5.
I think that wraps up very well.
And that was a short snippet from our podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, comment if you have any different opinions. I'm always very open to have a discussion, hopefully. And follow us on all social media. You should be able to access that in the comments. And support us on Patreon, pretty please. In the junior and senior tier if you enjoy this podcast, and in the novice please, how do you pronounce it, Sarah?
Novice.
Novice tier, uh just for general support and access to our Discord. So bye bye.
Bye.